Casa Grande, Petaluma. Will the Gauchos make it 15 in a row in varsity girls basketball, or can Petaluma finally break a 10-year streak of losing to their crosstown rival?
Touchdown, Trojans!
Unbelievable! And a very good evening from the Ed Iacopi Gym. It is Casa Grande Petaluma Varsity Girls Hoops Part 2. And the first time Casa Grande went into Petaluma territory and continued to dominate this rivalry with their 13th straight victory in a row that dates back all the way to 2009. Petaluma will have its last chance this year, and they come in with some momentum if they want to knock off a very talented Gaucho team. Petaluma won his second game of VVAL on Saturday, a thrilling overtime victory against American Canyon, and Casa Grande will be a little shorthanded today. One of their best players is suspended for this game. However, Casa Grande sits near the top of VVAL. They've got some elite players, and Petaluma will certainly be challenged if they want to pull out a historic victory. It's Petaluma, Casa Grande. It doesn't get much better than this, and it's coming up next right here on Trojan Live.
Up top here at the Ed Iacopi Gym, Casa Grande and Petaluma ready to tip. We just have the national anthem sung by Casa Grande center Shayla Dunker, and it's a good atmosphere here tonight. Not a massive amount of students who might be saving up their voice for 3 more battles between Casa and Petaluma in varsity sports tomorrow, but overall a lot of community, and you can tell the players are ready for this one. Egg Bowl Part 2 are underway as Casa wins the tip. Trinity Merwin unable to lay it in, and then Pate was fouled as she pulled down the rebound. Trojans are 10-13 overall, 2-7 in VVAL, but as we mentioned, they are coming off their just second VVAL victory of the year to break a 3-game losing streak. And the record doesn't indicate how well at times they played this year. They've lost a lot of close games. It's been a young team that struggled to finish. They finally won in overtime as Pate's 3 is a little too strong. Trojans finally won in overtime on Saturday, just the 3rd time in 9 tries they'd won a game decided by less than 10 points. Pate from downtown. Kylie Pate, the 5'5" senior co-captain guard, not afraid to shoot the 3. That was her 116th three-point attempt of the season. And she gives Petaluma a 3-0 lead. Petaluma ball. Gaucho ball. Gauchos in the white with the green lettering. Petaluma in the royal purple with the white lettering and white piping. Gauchos trying to defend their home court. It was all the way back of January 23rd, 2010 when Petaluma last won here and last beat Casa Grande in any varsity girls basketball game. This Gaucho team very experienced, and they've had a remarkable year. They've only lost once all season in VVAL. Big part of that, Samantha Hendrickson, the senior center, provides great height to this team. 3 seniors, but 8 returners on the Gauchos. Bacon turned it over, and she is fouled. The Gaucho student section number's about 10, but they are standing up and making a lot of noise here early for their Casa Grande varsity girls basketball team, who they have to be proud of so far this year. Currently tied for first place in the Vine Valley with the Vintage Crushers, who they beat last week. This game for the Casa Grande isn't just for bragging rights, but also for a potential VVAL title. Eric Hatt is stripped. The Trojans with a couple early turnovers here, so they lead 3-2, 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. Gauchos are 14-8 overall. A loss on Saturday broke a long winning streak for them. An exceptional play by Reese to get her own rebound off the 3, but she can't finish. She burned Petaluma in the second half, and the Gauchos 44-30 victory 3 weeks ago back at the Petaluma High School gym. Reese got hot in the 3rd quarter. The Trojans couldn't slow her down. Real story of that game, though, was Petaluma's inability to score in the second half. Trojans really struggled to get any offense going against a very good zone defense. Head coach Dan Sack is used to dominate Petaluma over the last 10 years. Hendrickson hot early. She's got both buckets for Casa Grande, and it's 4-3. Petaluma only 3 games left, and some might call it a lost season, but if they can win tonight and break such a long streak, it would make up for a lot of the struggle they've had this year. Casa balls. Catarizoli tipped it and was standing out of bounds. Trojans are going to get Taylor Iacopi up, their 6th woman. She's coming off a 24-point performance against American Canyon in their victory on Saturday. And they might need her for scoring as the Trojans are pretty cold early. And Trinity Merwin, the leading scorer for the Gauchos, only a sophomore, adds to the 6-3 lead for Casa Grande. Ericat from downtown. Yes, sir! Shireen Ericat, Petaluma's leading scorer. The junior star ready to play, and she's tied this game up at 6. So we near the halfway point of the first quarter. Trojans with 2 big threes early. Well, something they haven't done all year long, but they're going to have to shoot very well tonight if they want to pull off the upset. Trojans only average 18% from downtown, but so far tonight, 2 big threes by Ericat and Pate. Pate, open. That time too strong. We mentioned the Gauchos are a man down themselves. Sophia Gardia has been suspended for this game after an incident on Saturday, and the Gauchos lost to Alameda 48-43 loss. 7 seconds on the shot clock. The Gauchos turn it over. Gardia fell to the ground with the ball as Pate threw the ball off Nevin's head. Trojans lucky to keep it. Excellent ball movement after Nevin was trapped. 10 seconds left. Can the Trojans break this tenacious press by the Gauchos? So aggressive. Catarizoli hits. The Trojans, excellent job shooting early. Catarizoli, not known for her scoring, only shoots 22% from the field. But she'll give Petaluma a lead, 8-6, under 3. So Sophia Gardia on Saturday was on the ground, and she had 3 Alameda Hornets dive on her and kind of land on top of her. From there, it turned from a skirmish to a fight. Gardia kind of threw the players on her. Apparently some fans got involved as well, and there was some pushing and shoving. Gardia was suspended, as were 2 of the Alameda players, and Gardia and 1 Alameda player were ejected from that game as a hard foul is called on Nevin. So that is why the Gauchos are down, and their sophomore star, who's 3rd on the team in scoring, and really was a big factor in both Gaucho victories last year over Petaluma. That is a big loss for Casa Grande, and the Trojans know it, and had to come into this game with a little bit extra oomph in their step. Not only had they just come off a much-needed victory, but they know that one of the Gauchos' best players isn't on the court. Iacopi's first shot, as she just entered too strong, fell on Ayers. 2:17 remaining in the first quarter. It's Casa Grande 6, Petaluma 8. The second round of the varsity girls basketball egg ball. Gauchos took the first round as what a block by Iacopi. Hendrickson going up, and Iacopi said, "Not in my house, in the big house." The Trojans' defense has been stout so far. Ayers. It would have been raining threes if that one had fallen. But Petaluma is finding some ways to get some open shots around the perimeter. And Coach Ratchin yet to have a victory over Dan Sack in his 3 years. It's the second time tonight we've seen an offensive rebound and score, that time by Ashley Casper. And that's off Air's knee. Coach Ratchin faced Dan Sack, Casa Grande, now in his third year. This is his 5th time. In the previous 4, or I'm sorry, this is his 6th time. In the previous 5, he has lost. And it's nicely begin. Petalamuma's really struggled to score. However, they're going to have to play some defense as Cassie Yavaris hits from downtown, and the Gauchos retake the lead. The 5'5" freshman guard. Back and forth we're going here early. Both teams with a lot of energy, well played. This is a lot what we saw in the first half of the first round. Both teams played very well. Yavaris, and one! Cassie Yavaris with a personal 5-0 run, and now a chance to convert the 3-point play. How about the freshman stepping up in a huge moment for her team, both for a pennant race and for Petaluma bragging rights. This Gaucho team has experience, but they have 4 freshmen, and they are not afraid to play them, and they are good. 14-8 the score, 1:08 and counting remaining in the first quarter. As Ayers' pass is knocked away. That's what the Gaucho defense is going to try to do all evening long. Knock balls away, tight defense, get you frustrated, and hope that Petaluma, who's a cold shooting team, will get cold, because so far the Trojans have done a nice job. Iacopi, such a smooth stroke, but she couldn't finish that time. And Bacon nearly pulled down an offensive board. Not that time. It's been the Gauchos so far that have gotten a couple key offensive rebounds. 3 balls short by Casper. It's a 16-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Petaluma trying to go 2 for 1 here, but it's turned over. What an exceptional effort by Ayers to steal it. Somehow the Gauchos come up with it. Shot clock turned off, but Merwin going in and can't have. Jump ball is called. Arrow point towards Petaluma. This Gaucho team also fighting for NCS playoff position. Currently projected as the 7th seed in the NCS Division 2. They have some impressive victories. They beat Ukiah in a non-league match as well, one of the best teams in the NBL, and a team they've struggled to beat when they used to be in the NBL. Obviously, the victory over Vintage for them was a highlight, really shocking the Crushers, who really looked like they weren't going to lose a game all season long. Vintage was routed Casa the first time around. Bacon from downtown. Well, this Casa team's pretty good, but the Trojans so far have answered the charge. 3 3-pointers, and Petaluma getting production from everyone early. Lila Bacon hits the 3-pointer, and we've reached the end of the first quarter. It's Petaluma 8, Casa Grande 11. Start of the second quarter. The Gauchos' first shot, Hendrickson off the mark. Jump ball, Petaluma ball. An exciting start so far to this one. The Trojans have shot the 3-ball well, gotten some open looks. It doesn't mean it's been easy sledding against this zone defense, but you can't expect it to. Petaluma's going to have to shoot well. They want to win. They nearly got a 4th 3-pointer from a 4th person. Bella Weinberg's 3-ball rimmed in and out. The Trojans only come in averaging 45 points per game. They only shoot 31% from the field, and we mentioned only 18% from behind the arc. The Gauchos took advantage of that, especially in the second half when these teams played. The Trojans only had 3 field goals in the entire second half against the Gauchos 3 weeks ago. Time running out as the 3-ball is off the side of the backboard. Casa won that 44-30, but we mentioned it was tied at halftime. It was a very competitive game early. The Gauchos outscored Petaluma 12-2 in that 4th quarter, which is really where it got out of hand. Petaluma was just ice cold in that one. Gauchos have gotten another offensive rebound. is out of play. Trojan ball. This Petaluma defense has been good all season long. They actually slowed down Vintage actually last week when they played. The Crushers only scored 39 points against them. They'd scored 51 the first time those two teams had faced off. Bacon is fouled. Trojans allow 43 points per game. It's a tight zone defense, and the Gauchos have struggled with it, and without one of their best players in Gardia, has to make it even harder for them to find options to score. If the Trojans can keep on shooting, wouldn't say advantage Petaluma because Casa has the experience and the history, but the Trojans are giving themselves a much better shot at breaking a very, very long and painful losing streak. You look at all the sports in the Egg Bowls, you don't typically see as lopsided as we've seen this rivalry become. 13 straight in a row, 9 years. Weinberg switched the free throws. After Petaluma really dominated this rivalry in the early 2000s under head coach Doug Johnson, Dan Sack took over, built a program, and the Gauchos since have become the completely dominant team. Spoked out, stays Gaucho ball. The Trojans really haven't even been close in many of them, and they've obviously had to rebuild. But Dan Sack totally has a game plan to beat Petaluma every time, even when the Trojans have gone through a couple different coaches. And they found someone in John Ratchin, but he has been unable to solve the key just yet. Shot clock down to 3 as Merwin's shot is off the mark. Good 30 seconds of defense by Petaluma. 2-point ball game, 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Marissa Temple is entered for Petaluma. Ericat's been quiet early. She has just 2 points as she turns it over, or 3 points, I should say, a three-pointer. I call a foul on Ericat there. That looked like good defense to me. But the Trojans have to be happy if they're not relying on Shreen Ericat through all their offense, and they can get a lot of players to produce. When they can, that's how they've won a lot of their games this year. They've gotten production from up and down the lineup. Pate aggressive. They're going to call a push, and you know that even though these were not the same referees that were at Saturday's game with 2 players ejected, nearly fans fighting between Alameda and Casa Grande, they are going to have a very tight whistle, especially on plays like that where altercations can start. And Casa's already probably a little bit feeling feisty after they got one of their players beaten up, and now she's suspended. And I haven't seen the fight, so I don't know exactly everyone who's to blame, but it was definitely not a good situation. Excellent strip by Iacopi. She's at a block, now a steal, and even though she hasn't scored for Petaluma, she's provided excellent defense. Temple working her way into a corner, but Nevin got out of it and lays it in. Tie ball game, 14-14. Rose Nevin, the 5'8" sophomore center, 4.2 points per game. She's second on the team in field goal percentage. Get it to her down low, and only good things can happen. The Trojans have clawed their way back. Temple nearly took it away from Emily Boulard, who had a couple threes in the Gauchos' victory. Speaking of Boulard, off the mark there. Casa has not shot the 3-ball well, and they are a 3-point shooting team. But so far, they've been cold. Iacopi trying to lay it up and under, but she was rejected by the bottom of the backboard. The Gauchos keep on shooting threes, but Reese is off the mark. The Gauchos with just 2 points in the second quarter. Iacopi a little bit too strong off the backboard. Nevin, Iacopi screaming for her. She can't finish, and now fouled. Oh, this Petaluma team is battling tooth and nail. We've seen this Trojan team at times this year wilt and look tired, weak, disappointed by losing. They had a rough stretch by any stretch of the imagination, losing 6 out of 7 before winning on Saturday night. You can tell this team has been waiting for this one since their loss on January 10th. zoom in a little more on that. So the Trojans retake the lead. Neither team has led by more than 5. That was Casa Grande. It has been back and forth. And not a lot of room to move in the paint for either team. It's forced a lot of outside shooting. And that would be, you'd think, advantage Casa Grande, but Petaluma has shot better. So the Trojans want this a little more. It's revenge on their minds. That was a little bit forced into Nevin. Petaluma lucky to get it. The biggest issue right now for this Petaluma offense, they're still working themselves into traps in double teams. Casa Grande's zone defense likes to create turnovers, cause strife for opposing offenses. The Trojans still too often right now dribbling into corners, and the Gauchos are double teaming them. They can get open three-pointers like that. That is what you want. Ayers is a good three-point shooter, just not that time. This Trojan team also with hopes, very slim, but very slim hopes for postseason play. If they win tonight and can finish the season back at home against Napa and Sonoma Valley with victories, they would possibly be in the VVAL tournament. They're currently in 6th, but they're 2 games out of 4th place, which is Justin Siena. Top 4 play in the VVAL tournament, which is next week on Wednesday and Friday. Temple couldn't finish, but Nevin able to pick up the scraps. Gauchos aren't boxing out. Extra chances for the Trojans, and Nevin with big production. The lead is 3. Petaluma also, they need to win this game tonight and win their last 2, but that would get them back to 500 and make them eligible for the NCS playoffs as well. They would have a low seed, but they could be eligible. The Gauchos needed something offensively, and Yavares is there. The 3 ball for Yavares, and we're quickly tied at 17. The Gauchos have shot the ball horribly, yet they still, somehow, some way, are tied up. Ayers! The bank is open in the Ed Iacopi Gym on a Tuesday night. 20-17. 6 points for Cammy Ayers tonight. And Ayers takes it away. This Trojan team has already provoked numerous amounts of turnovers early in this one, and they are a good team defensively, taking the ball away. 10.4 steals per game, 3.1 blocks per game, and they haven't done it on the opposite end so far much yet either, just as they promptly turn the ball over. But they only average 16.4, they average 16.4 turnovers per game, not good at all, way up from last year when they averaged 11.7 turnovers per game. It's been a major issue and a major reason they've gone cold at times, including in the second half against Casa Grande when these teams last played. Damani, she's only a freshman. She had a big game for the Gauchos in their victory. Gauchos got a lot of players to produce in that one. They're not a one-man show by any means. Three-pointer is good by Merwin, and the Gaucho fans wanted a foul too. A couple big three-pointers by the Gauchos have gotten them out of their slump, and that's the double team we talked about. Petaluma can't get into. Kick ball on Ayers. Great energy so far by the junior Cammy Ayers. Coach Ratchin doesn't like that call. He didn't think that hit a foot. Looked like a clean strip to him, but his eyes might be a little bit blinded tonight, or at least biased. 1:18 remaining, and we're all knotted at 20. An excellent first half so far, back and forth. This one's been a little bit more defensive than the first half last time these teams played, but it's been all the more fun. Damani just kind of panicked on that and threw it up. That was a freshman moment for her. This game is close late, though. Advantage Gauchos in terms of experience, as we've talked about. Nevin, the offensive rebound, and she'll head to the line for 2. Nevin and Iacopi, the two sophomores, have been remarkable this year. They've really developed over the course of the year, and they have helped Petaluma become a major factor in VVAL in terms of competing in games. Something early in the year they weren't competitive and obviously haven't won a lot of those close games. But you look at their schedule, they have had a lot of near misses. 3-point loss to Justin Siena. 3-point loss to Sonoma Valley. A 1-point loss to Piner. That was in non-league. And a 5-point loss to Justin Siena the second time around. They could easily be in third or fourth in VVAL. They have that level of talent and skill, especially a team that was 23-6 last year and undefeated SCL champions. Merwin takes the contact and lays it in. She's so talented, you don't want to let her get going. Catarazzoli running the floor. There's a 6-second differential between shot clock and game clock as Lily Catarazzoli is fouled. Trojans are 3-8 in games decided by less than 10. But obviously they won just their third time all year long and were previously 0-2 in overtime, won in overtime on Saturday night. Pate, a little short. Nevin pulls it down. Shot clock turned off. Era Cat can't finish. So Casa's got a 1-point lead with 14 seconds left and the shot clock turned off. A little extra pressure put on by Petaluma, and that's worked so far tonight. Excellent effort by Ayers, jump ball. You always need a player to step up in a game of this magnitude when you're probably the less talented team in Petaluma, someone to play out of their mind, and so far tonight, it has been the junior Cameron Ayers. 5 seconds left in the half. That will count if it goes. Hendrickson's shot's a little too strong, and we are at the end of 16 minutes. Very similar to the first time around. An excellent played first half, and it could not be tighter. Back and forth, these two have gone. It will come down to 16 more minutes of basketball to decide if Petaluma can break a painful 10-year losing streak and stop 13 times in a row for Casa Grande girls basketball when they face Petaluma. Second half coming up next. All right, ready to go here. Second half underway. A 1-point ball game. Can Petaluma's offense keep it up? And can their defense stay stout and force turnovers? You have to worry about the Gauchos getting hot from downtown. None of that happens. Petaluma's got an excellent shot at keeping this game close to the final minutes, and it will come down to, can Petaluma win another close game? Nearly over and back. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Merwin's just going to have to throw one up. That one never hit the rim, so that's not going to count. One other improvement for Petaluma, a lot of offensive rebounds they gave up early. That would be one thing to watch, but you're also going to watch the Gauchos press. Casa Grande did not press in the first half. They pressed in the second half of last game, and it looks like they are going to do that again in this half. That is another thing to watch. Trojans quickly turn it over, and they nearly do again. Petaluma needs to be more careful with the basketball. Turnovers are exactly how you get ice cold in a hurry. We do have good news, at least the way things have fared between Petaluma and Casa this year. Good news for Trojan fans from the Casa Grande field. What a pass to Nevin. She missed the bunny, though. The execution was there. The shot was not. Good news from the Casa Grande football field and soccer field, where the boys soccer team has tied the Casa Grande Gauchos 3-3. And that's 5 seconds, I believe. No, they need to reset the shot clock, not 5 seconds. So some shot clock operation going on here. Boys soccer team hadn't won a game since the game before they lost to Casa Grande, which was 3 weeks ago. They had been on a 6-game losing streak, but they finally break that tonight, and they get a draw against Casa Grande for a team that's so injured. It's had to call up so many players because they are without their starting goalkeeper and a host of other players to find a way to get a draw. Has to feel good for them against the Gauchos. What a feed inside. Hendrickson wide open. Nevin missed her bunny, but Hendrickson does not. That's the difference between a senior and a sophomore. This Gaucho press is going to test Petaluma. And the Trojans continue not to turn over the ball and play smart for such a young team as Ericat is fouled. Just 2 starters returning from that excellent squad Petaluma last year, though. Even though Trojans were so good last year, 2 of their 6 losses, we mentioned this a lot on our live stream back 3 weeks ago when these teams played. 2 of their 6 losses last year, a third of them were to Casa Grande. Petaluma fell 43-31 in December here in the Ed Iacopi Gym in a non-league affair. Weren't in the same league, and then they played in the first round of NCS at Petaluma. Gauchos won that one 45-38. Both were close early, and the Gauchos pulled away late. And both times, as was the game earlier, it was the Trojans getting cold late in the game that really cost them. Will we see the same thing happen tonight, or has Petaluma learned from its mistakes against the green and gold? 14 more minutes to decide. Good defense by the Trojans. They trail by 1, 24-23. Balanced scoring sheet on both sides so far tonight. Ericat can explode, but she's not had a huge game tonight. Bacon has her first points. We saw Lila Bacon hit a 3 earlier. This time it's Cassidy Bacon, the 5'3" senior guard. 4.1 points per game, and she gives Petaluma the lead in the second half. The Trojans never had the lead in the second half 3 weeks ago. They've accomplished that now, and they are out front of Casa Grande. Petaluma slim VVAL tournament hopes alive if the win tonight, and slim NCS hopes alive with a win tonight. But if they knock off the Gauchos, Casa Grande is no longer in control of its own destiny for a Vine Valley Athletic League title, currently tied with Vintage up top. VVAL, Vintage 9-1, Casa Grande 8-1. Vintage at Sonoma Valley tonight. And there is a large gap in between Vintage and Casa. Justin Siena at 5-5 is in third. Napa at 4-5 is in fourth. And Sonoma Valley at 3-6 is the team 1 game in front of Petaluma, who the Trojans could close the gap on potentially with a huge victory tonight. What a steal by Ericat, like a wide receiver going up to take it away. But her impressive play was quickly nullified by Merwin's steal. Good ball movement. Hendrickson's baseline J off the mark. The Gauchos have struggled to shoot from the outside for the most part all night long. Couple big threes late, but that's it. It's a 3-on-2 here. Petaluma's got numbers. Nevin fighting through contact to go up, and she'll head to the line for 2. Fouls haven't been a big story in this game, but if Petaluma can get Nevin involved, they certainly will be. Hendrickson really neutralized Nevin in the first time around, but Nevin has so far really had the upper hand in this one. Done a nice job. Trojans will continue play Thursday night against Napa, back home at the Petaluma High School Gym. And their senior night will be Monday evening against Sonoma Valley. Both of those games will be live streamed right on our Petaluma High School YouTube channel. So stay right here for the end of the girls basketball season. But if they can win all 3, they will likely, in all likelihood, have more games in NCS and VVAL tournaments, possibly. I'll start with a victory here tonight, which means so much more than just that. What a feed, but the block. Shireen Ericat hasn't scored tonight, but she's been brilliant defensively. Bacon, the fake, the fire, the glass. Cassidy Bacon, back-to-back threes. Petaluma High students have made their way into this gym, and they are making noise very loudly for the first time tonight. The biggest lead of the night for either team. It's 6 points for Petaluma. 30-24, and it's been Bacon, Cassidy Bacon, the older sister of Lila Bacon, with back-to-back three-pointers. How about this three-point shooting tonight for Petaluma? Can the Trojans continue the momentum as it's a double dribble? The momentum on Petaluma's side. Let's get a shot of the students. Let's get a shot of the students. Peter, they were standing up and cheering on that three. So there's about good 20 of them. There's a good number of them that have showed up a little bit late arriving, but they actually probably outnumber Casa Grande students now that they've shown up, as they did when these teams faced off last time. Petaluma High students do a nice job supporting all teams. Well, Peter Canali is also with me, and you're going to hear from him next for the rest of the third quarter. It's Petaluma 30, Casa Grande 24.
And here we are. That will be Rose Nevin there trying to go for the shot. Taylor Iacopi going for the three, and she hits it. Trojans back in the lead now. Highest lead of the game. 9 points, and the Trojans are just going wild here. Casa cannot find an opening. They're not boxing out. And Petaluma hasn't been able to capitalize on it. Shot clock running down. Trinity Merton here looking for the shot. And Lily Pedersen will miss a shot for Casa there. Trojans, so much energy on both on the bench and in the student section. People are getting hyped. Maybe tonight, I'm not gonna say that. Maybe tonight the Trojans can finally break their 10-year losing streak against the Gauchos. Bella Weinberg looking for it. She'll be fouled here for the 2 points. Bella Weinberg sinking both shots now. Trojans now lead by 11 points. First time in the double digits. And an amazing layup by Jennifer Loyo. A failed attempt there by Paris Buchanan, I think. Petaluma and the Trojans both diving for it. It's going to be Casa ball here. Emma Reese looking for some. Passes to Men's into Hami. Shot clock with 5 seconds left. The Gauchos have to throw it up. Trinity Merwin will be fouled here. Chance for Gauchos to finally score after Petaluma's 7-point run. nothing for the Gauchos to come out cold. Still unable to score in this third half. Petaluma has just been oppressive. Nevin there with the rebound. Cassie Bacon, my bad. Bella Weinberg looking for some, not enough. Casa doesn't get the rebound. Good job by Angelina Shanowski there. Skakowski, my bad. Cameron Ayers looking for some. She's been the Trojans' lead scorer tonight. Been on fire. The 5'6" junior guard for Petaluma. Ericat there with the block. Still no points for the. She has scored no points for the Trojans this game, but has been a key defensively in shutting down the Gauchos and really just oppressing them in the second half. Ericat with the rebound. Throws it to Cameron Ayers. Ericat with her own rebound, and she makes her first points of the game, taking it up to a 11-point lead. Casa can't finish there. That was Sophia Gardia. Ericat looking for some. And it looks like Cassidy Bacon. No, Ayers will be fouled there. Wait, jump ball, never mind. Wow. Ayers looking for another three. She's been on fire to the three tonight, but wasn't able to hit that one. .22 seconds left in this third quarter. Can Casa score some points? Ericat there intercepts it, steals it, and like that, the third quarter will be set in stone. What a third quarter. Petaluma unstoppable, it feels like. 11-point lead, double digits. What an exciting game here in the Casa home gym. We'll see you in the fourth quarter.
All right, start of the fourth quarter. Thank you for Peter for doing an excellent job for that thrilling final 4 minutes of the third. This Trojan team playing with an exceptional level of energy. Oh, that's not a foul. They called the foul on Kylie Payton. It was very clearly all ball. The Petaluma team cheering here much for it. And the student section, that number's about 30. They went mad at the end of the third quarter. This team playing with effort, with fight. The Gauchos cannot hit shots right now. And this Trojan team is getting offensive rebounds. They are finding ways to score. And they've really had an excellent game plan, finding ways to kick it inside the paint, but they haven't really shot it inside there. Kick it outside and hit threes. And it has worked to a T. Trojans had their biggest lead of the game at 11. The lead is now cut to 9. The Gauchos will continue to press, but the Trojans have been much more ready in this half than they were in the second half 3 weeks ago. What a feed! Catarazzoli faking twice! It didn't go! Oh, it was so beautiful to get her there, but she somehow couldn't finish. Peter says, yeah, that was pretty exciting. What a play by the very athletic senior Catarazzoli. She's never beaten Casa Grande in her 4-year career, a 3-year varsity career. Is tonight the night? The night. That 10 years of misery, 13 straight losses end. Petaluma 7 minutes away, but can they close? They've blown a couple late leads this year. Cat up and under. Catarazzoli pulled down an offensive board. Airs wide open off the mark. Well, this Trojan team is battling for every board, every shot. And right now they are outworking Casa Grande in every facet of this ball game. Try to be a little bit more. 2010, almost the year to the date, 2010, 3 days ago, the last time Petaluma beat Casa Grande. It was a low-scoring affair. All of these players were in elementary school. Dan Sack was the head coach. Petaluma, very different back then. In just 9 years, there was no Target shopping center. We could go around all the differences. Hendrickson looking a little banged up. Dan Sack has called timeout. Petaluma is going to get another breather. I would expect a lot of timeouts on both sides for this one. 6:42 remaining in the fourth. Petaluma 37, Casa Grande 28. It was 37-27 the score the last time Petaluma beat Casa Grande here in the Ed Iacopi Gym. January 23rd, 2010. The Gauchos have struggled to score throughout this game. They had a couple big threes in the second quarter that got them back in the game and actually gave them the lead at half. They've had no answer offensively for this tenacious press. Just a desperation three off the mark. This Trojan defense has taken no prisoners tonight. They have been dominant. Cat trying to be a one-woman wrecking crew, but doing a little bit too much. Petaluma needs to play within themselves right now. Merwins is not playing within herself, out of control, and then a frustration foul on Catarazzoli. You can start to see the frustration on the Gauchos' faces. They know this streak. They know the dominance the East Side has had in girls basketball. And they know what's happened this year. Petaluma has not beaten Casa Grande in a varsity sport yet this year, with the exception of girls golf, and Casa Grande didn't field a full team. This is the first, possibly could be the first chance to break a miserable year for Petaluma and Casa on the west side, if you're a west side fan. Stays Trojan ball. Offensive rebounds have been huge tonight, especially in the second half. And they've kept this Petaluma offense going even when the Trojans have cooled down from outside. Petaluma averages 7.4 offensive rebounds per game tonight. They have definitely surpassed that. They have a height advantage over the Gauchos. They might lack the experience and the history, but they have used their strengths tonight and fighting. And the Gauchos, as Cat was tied up, points towards Casa Grande. Maybe the Gauchos feeling the effects of Saturday afternoon and their loss to Alameda, a game they blew at that game. They had a lead during the fight in the third quarter and lost it. Of course, Casa Grande also not with one of their best players and second leading scorer in Sofia Gardia, the sophomore. Suspended for this one after she was ejected from Saturday's affair. Merwin is the leading scorer, but she's ice cold. Hendrickson will get to the line. It's going to be the 7th team foul on Petaluma, so that will send Casa Grande to the line the rest of the way, the 1-and-1 bonus, though this is a shooting foul. The Trojans have not won back-to-back games all the way since December 4th. Just once all this year have they won back-to-back games, and it was non-league way back in December. very late in the year, less than a week left in the regular season. Petaluma is 5:26 away from pulling off the upset. However, the lead has been cut to 7 for a run by Casa Grande. The Trojans are also not a good three-throw shooting team. Got to keep that in mind as well. Aricats. The senior paint. What an effort by Damani. Plug for the ball. Damani's got it. Ratchin wants to travel. Casa got a timeout. Head coach Sean Ratchin's got to be careful to not get a technical. Yeah, the players, a couple players were telling him to get back in the huddle. They don't want a technical to cost them. Damani was kind of rolling around on the ground. He certainly could have made the case for a travel there, but Dan Stack got a timeout called. 3 timeouts now remaining for both teams. Only 4 team fouls on Casa Grande, so the Trojans are nowhere near heading to the line. But Petaluma leads 37-30 with 5:10 left. The Trojans have led by as much as 11. The Gauchos have been cold throughout. They've gotten some points from the line. If you're the Trojans, you got to let them shoot and not foul here, because the Gauchos really have found no answers for this aggressive zone defense and ways to score. Casa Grande ball. In this riveted gym, the tension is ratcheted up. It's about 75% full, but it has been a lively atmosphere and a lot of fun throughout this rivalry game, East Side versus West. It's a fresh shot clock for the Gauchos. Hendrickson has really made an effort tonight to get going, but she just cannot get by Rose Nevin. And Eric Cat pulls down a hard-fought board. Every single thing matters right now, as the Gauchos turn it back over. Ayers has had an exceptional game. Merwin fouled. Well, Merwin has tried to take things into her own right. Gauchos only had a few field goals in that in that third quarter, and Merwin had 2 of them. Her drives to the rack are hard to stop. She's an electric player. If you're Petaluma, sometimes it feels the only thing you can do is foul, but she struggled to shoot. The Gauchos are clawing back, and what was once a comfy lead for Petaluma as they pulled ahead in the third quarter with an impressive run as the Gauchos win cold, is starting to fall back to a very tight nail biter that we saw for the first 2 quarters of this one, where it was back and forth. Nearly thrown away. Trojans need to get it over the timeline. Bacon diving on the floor. Lost it. Gaucho ball. What an effort by Casa Grande on the press. Coach Ratchin wanted a timeout, and they didn't give it to him. But the Trojans have done an excellent job beating this press. And Casa, which has been the team that's shown less effort on that play, diving on the ground, multiple of them, cutting the balls, was the team providing all the effort. Well, the nerves, is it in the Petaluma's head? A 6-0 run by Casa Grande by way primarily of the 3-throw line. This zone defense for Petaluma, so good. Hendrickson off the mark. Loyo, the senior, trying to pull down the board, but it's off her. Gauchos have 3 seniors, but 8 returners. Very, very experienced. Petaluma with just 4 seniors, and only 3 of them have played, with Angelina Scacalosi only playing in 2 games this year. Oh, Iacopi got it taken away from behind. She never saw Damani. We have reached the halfway point of the fourth quarter. 4 minutes to go. 3-ball Merwin short. Hendrickson with the board. It falls into Bacon's hands and she gets it out. Casa fans are looking for a foul, and Eric Cat, speaking of a foul, is indeed just that. 5 team fouls on the Gauchos. The rest trying to direct some Casa players back to the bench. You can feel the tension. You could cut it with a knife right now. That was exactly the kind of pass that tension brings. As Damani is fouled. Eric Cat so smart. both in the classroom and in the court. We talked about all her exceptional accomplishments she has in her life, not just on the basketball court, but that was not one of her smartest passes. I think she takes honors chemistry, AP World, or AP A-Push. Those are some of the hardest classes you could take in the school, and she excels. Right now, the Trojans need to get back to the basics and play like they did in the third quarter. Some of the best basketball they played all year long. Trojans have gone cold at the wrong time, and we talked about getting cold in the fourth quarter for Petaluma. They had a buffer this time. They had a lead, but they have quickly blown it. No points for Petaluma in this fourth quarter. 37-34, and this Gaucho press is giving issues right now to Petaluma. Too many turnovers. The Trojans are struggling to even get into their half court, which we talked about makes it hard to shoot. Hendrickson, an impressive effort to nearly take it away. And the Gauchos are suddenly reading every Trojan pass. Their defense has woken up with a flurry to come back and fight back in this game. Damani fouled, and the refs do need to get a handle on this game. It's been aggressive. Eric Cat getting a quick word with Mazin Damani, the freshman point guard. And we always talk about in all these Egg Bowl games that all the players really know each other, probably played on the same team often in clubs together. Some might be neighbors, friends. And it makes it even more fun. Ericat spinning, she's so good at the lane, and the bank is open. It's been a quiet night shooting, but the Trojan star awakes from her slumber just at the right moment. The lead is 6. Wide open, off the mark. No, you don't want to lead Emily Boulard wide open. She hit 3 threes against the Trojans 3 weeks ago, but she does not have one tonight. Sloppy play, Merwin takes it away. An exceptional job to foul by Pate and at least make Merwin earn it from the line. Gauchos are reading all the Trojan passes. Petaluma has looked a little bit frantic and a little bit rushed in this fourth quarter in what is no doubt the biggest moment of their season. And debatably, the Gauchos are playing for a VVAL title. But Petaluma, this is their Super Bowl, their championship. Most important game they will play all season long. Merwin hits both. What a fourth quarter she's had. What a finish we have. Under 3 minutes, 39-35 Petaluma. The Trojans with just 2 points in this fourth. Iacopi, her ball is knocked out of bounds. Iacopi's been pretty quiet. She had 23 points on Saturday night. She can be electric. Petaluma shot the 3 well, but the Trojans don't need to rush here. 21 seconds on the shot clock. Just need to be focused, find their shot. Nevin has been a big factor inside. Hendrickson struggled to guard her. Ericat going through a couple Gauchos to force the foul. Your Coach Ratchet, you might say it's doing too much. That's been his one complaint of his star, junior. But that time she was just a little bit stronger than the forest green and cream. Petaluma's free throw shooting has struggled if it comes down to that, but a big shot there. Ericat, the best free throw shooter on the Trojans. She's the best shooter also from the field for Petaluma. 50% from the line on the year for Petaluma. You cannot sub like that halfway through. The ref's giving a quick counseling to Trinity Merwin. 2:42 remaining. Ericat hits both, and the lead is extended to 6. Can the Trojans hold on? They led by 11 in the third quarter, but the Gauchos went on a 7-0 run to cut it down after a back-and-forth first half. The Trojans have no doubt played one of their best games of the season, but you have to finish it. There's no more victory when you're playing your rival. Nevin pulling down a board, second on the team in rebounds, over and back. That's just a little bit sloppy there from Petaluma with Iacopi and Ericat. You might forget, but Nevin and Iacopi are out there in the final minutes of this game. They are sophomores. First year on the varsity level, and yet, yay, are playing what has got to be the most intense minutes of a basketball game in their life. Three ball is good. Emma Reese from downtown, timeout. Head coach Dan Sack of Casa Grande. The Gauchos rely on the three. They love the three, and they have not been able to shoot the three all game long. But Reese with a monumental shot to cut the lead in half and make it a single possession game. 2:06 remaining in the fourth. Unbelievable action on both sides. And you have to say the last 8 minutes of this one must have felt like forever for both teams. The way this is going, this is turning into a heavyweight slugfest. Casa Grande also with 2 games remaining on the season. They play at Justin Siena on Friday night, and they're back home against Napa. A victory, and they remain in first place and contention for a VVAL title. A loss, and they would need Vintage to lose. Casa also trying to win its 14th straight in this rivalry and make it at least 11 years in a row. Trojans do an excellent job breaking the press. Iacopi never saw Nevin, though it happened to fall to her anyways, but then she traveled. The purple and white here tonight are flummoxed at that one, and I do not blame them. Under 2 to go. 3-point ball game. Can this Petaluma defense stand up? The Gauchos are in the double bonus, so you don't want to foul. Now 17 fouls on Casa. When Trojans get the ball back, they'll be in the 1-and-1. Loyo to Damani. The freshman cutting her way through. Man, that was ticky-tacky, but Damani's headed to the line for 2. Yeah, Peter making the point. It looked like Damani slipped on herself. She kind of tried to dive between 4 Trojans in this tricky zone. Petaluma's really tried to not give any room for Petaluma, or for Casa Grande, to get into that paint, build a wall around the paint, and force the Gauchos to shoot from the outside. And it has worked tonight. Damani misses the first. That was a freshman looking free throw right there, if I've ever seen one. But she started. Ericat is fouled. The Gauchos have won 9 out of their last 11. But they could drop 2 straight here tonight if Petaluma can pull off the upset. And Ericat, who just made 2, after pulling down an important rebound, heads the line for 2 more. 15.5 points per game. Led the team in scoring last year to an SCL tournament only as a sophomore. She converts the first to the 1-and-1. The Stars come out brightest in rivalry games. This was one of the most important things in the season for Petaluma, and especially for Ericat. She's talked a lot to me about how much she wants to beat Casa Grande. They're 132 away. A 5-point lead, 43-38. Gauchos don't have to rush. They have time, but they're going to need to find a way to score or get to the line. Merwin, air ball. Pulled down by Iacopi, and the Trojans need to slow it down. A nice play by Damani to poke it away. The Gauchos have made every offensive possession a headache tonight. Nevin. Ericat was pushed to the floor, no call. Ayers wide open, off the mark. Now diving players, this is the jumper, a foul. It will be a jump. There's certainly been some interesting calls, but this has been an intense one, especially for the refs. Arrow points towards Petaluma. 1:01 remaining, and the shot clock's at 29 seconds. The Gauchos might need a foul here. The Gauchos let this clock run down. The clock will run down to about 30 seconds by the time Petaluma takes a shot. And the Gauchos can be aggressive and try a steal. Dan Sack calls timeout. But I think if you're the Gauchos, you try a steal for the first couple seconds and see if you can get a turnover, something that they've been able to do pretty much at will in this fourth quarter. They've done an excellent job forcing turnovers. However, it feels like you do need to foul, especially with Petaluma in the 1-on-1 bonus after 5 to 10 seconds. Dan Sack, what a job he's done leading this Casa program. He can probably barely remember the last time, 13 times ago, that he lost to purple and white. As Coach Ratchin solved the puzzle, the Trojans want to get the ball into the hands of Era Cat. She shot the ball well if they're looking to foul, but she also handles the ball exceptionally for Petaluma. They have been poised, confident, and they have played their hearts out. They have left everything out there. And I've been around this team a lot. The bench is often quiet in a lot of their games in a rough season. They have been screaming. They have been yelling. They have wanted this one so badly. But in this final 1 minute, they need to treat this like any other game. And the celebration can be unlike any other in 1:01 in clock time. Pate into Aracat. Do the Gauchos foul? The Trojans shoot. I do not understand that at all. I don't know if that was in the game plan. Iacopi was open, but the Trojans only run 5 seconds off. They could have ran a lot more clock, and the Gauchos weren't being extremely aggressive. For the Gauchos, down 2 possessions. The clock's not their friend. Interesting decision. Hendrickson doubled. She's had a rough night. Damani out of control. Hendrickson is fouled by Nevin. Hendrickson, the biggest player on court, 5'11" senior. She didn't play last year. She's come back with a vengeance this year and been a big factor. She had 11 rebounds in the Gauchos' loss on Saturday. Be a big factor, but she is feeling the importance of these 3 throws. The Gauchos have missed a couple key ones, even with all their experience. Sure, and Casa left the line early anyways, trying to box out. Now you need to try a steal and then a foul if Petaluma can clear it, and they will with ease. Ayers, what a game she's had tonight. Well, Trojans are going to try to, or Gauchos are going to try to trap. Gauchos still not fouling. You don't want to shoot if you're Petaluma. Iacopi does a nice job. She gets it out to Pate. 25 seconds remaining. The Gauchos still running clock. Nevin couldn't hold on. Nevin poked it back away, but the shot clock, they're going to say expired. I thought the Gauchos had possession, though. And the refs are going to talk about it. The Gauchos had possession of that ball. They stole it away, and then Nevin poked it away. That should reset the shot clock. It will. Petaluma ball. 17.1. There's a smile on Cami Ayers' face, but it is by no means over yet. And the Gauchos are going to have to foul. Now, I don't know why they didn't earlier. There's been really 2 on both sides, questionable choices in terms of late game management. But with all the pressure and all the marbles on, it has to be hard. Ayers to inbound it. It's Pate, Iacopi, Nevin, and Aracat out there. And now they're going to switch it and give it to the senior co-captain in Kylie Pate, one of the great leaders on this team. Head coach Dan Sack of Casa Grande will use a timeout. That is the final timeout for Casa Grande. So he's going to have to overlay everything that he wants the Gauchos to do in the next 17.1 seconds, depending on what happens, and hope that his experienced team knows what's going on. Their VVAL title hopes are at a pearl, and it would make it even more sweeter if you're Petaluma, if not only could you break 10 years of misery, 13 games in a row, but they could also spoil Casa Grande potentially winning their first ever Vine Valley Athletic League pennant. And it's been 7 years since the Gauchos have won a league title in girls basketball. They won MBL. Dan Sack's had some powerhouses. 17.1 seconds left. Petaluma will inbound the ball, and you want to get into your best 3-throw shooter's hands. That's Ericat and Iacopi if you're Petaluma, their two best shooters. So Pate will inbound. Finds Iacopi wide open, why not shoot? She lays it in! Taylor Iacopi has hit, the lead is 5. The Gauchos will have to shoot very quickly. Damani looking for something, the clock's down to 3. Merwin driving, shot will not get off for the first time in 10 years! Petaluma girls basketball has defeated Casa Grande! Unbelievable! The students are going mad. The fans in purple and white are going mad. 13 straight times, no more. Head coach John Ratchet has solved the puzzle. The girls basketball team has solved the puzzle, and they have stunned Casa Grande in their home gym. It's also the first victory for any Petaluma team against Casa Grande in a varsity sport this year. Unbelievable. We will have interviews coming up next. Casa falls to Petaluma, the final score, Petaluma 45, Casa Grande 38. Stay right here. We have some very fun interviews in just a moment.
Cami, just beat Casa Grande. What are the emotions going through your head?
Oh my God, there's so much excitement. I can't stop smiling. And I literally just can't stop moving. I'm so, it's been years since we've beat them, and it's just we came together as a team and we beat them.
You had so much energy out on the court tonight, as did all the team. How important was this, and how did you guys learn from the earlier loss to put everything together tonight?
Well, at practices, we just learned what they did and how they did it, and we got it down. And when we came on the court, we just showed them who we actually are. Because, sadly we lost our last game against them, but, you live, you learn, and you win.
You guys, as you mentioned, 10 straight years of losing to Casa Grande, 13 straight times. What do you think it just means overall for the program to finally break an extremely long losing streak?
I feel like it's a new start for us almost. It's like a push, up. And I'm just so excited because I got to be a part of it. And with these girls, it's pretty baller.
Thank you so much, Cami. Congratulations. We're here with Kylie Pate. You just beat Casa Grande for the first time in 10 years for the program. What are the emotions going through your head? What does this mean?
I'm not going to lie, I was happy crying when I came off the court. This is definitely going on one of my favorite senior night memories. I don't really have much words.
You guys put together a remarkable run in the third quarter. It was a back and forth game in the first half, and you guys totally shut them down defensively in the third. How did you get that done?
We kept talking, and we knew which girls that we needed to step up on, and that's what we did.
There's no doubt you guys have had a rough season and a lot of other games, so many close losses. How could you break a streak on such a rough year, keep your heads up through all this to have a moment like this?
For me and the two other seniors, we were saying that this is our last time ever playing on this court, and we just wanted to go out there and win, and we motivated all of the younger girls, so it was awesome.
Thank you so much, Kylie. Congratulations. All right, we're here with head coach John Ratchin. You beat Casa Grande. I can't get the names right. You beat Casa Grande for the first time in your coaching career and the first time for the program in 14 tries. What does this mean for the program, for you, and for the girls?
We've just been playing a lot better lately, maintaining composure. The last time we played these guys, we actually had more turnovers than shot attempts. So just to maintain, as I said, composure, control of the ball was big for us. American Canyon game, vintage game, pretty much led into it. Just staying the course and getting better every day.
Defense only allowed 38 points. How were you finally able to devise a game plan, and what was it to slow down the Gauchos?
Just know who the shooters are, stay on them, and don't let the big girl in the middle get a bunch of looks, which has kind of killed us the last two times, those two things. So maintain that. And from my voice, you can tell yelling a lot. So.
Well, what does this mean for the program going forward to finally defeat Casa after such a long streak and for the rest of your year?
You know, it's just a monkey off the back. We just need it as a program. It's just one of those that it's like you kind of walk in the gym, and I haven't been part of this rivalry very long, but the girls have. And it's just you kind of have a feeling like a little gloom and doom, and hopefully that's gone now. So we know we can do it.
Congratulations, Coach. What a game. What a moment, not just for Petaluma varsity girls basketball, but we have told you the travails of Petaluma sports against Casa Grande this year. And not only does a Petaluma varsity team finally defeat Casa Grande in a game that Casa could actually win, but it comes in varsity girls basketball where for the first time since 2009, nearly to the date, to 2009 and 3 days ago, at so many days I couldn't even count, so much was different in the world. Here in Petaluma was the last time Petaluma beat Casa Grande. It had been 13 times in a row, and it just felt like Casa knew day in and day out how to win every time against this Petaluma team. And man, Coach Ratchin said it, a monkey off the back, something the program needed, something all 13 girls in purple and white wanted so badly. And tonight, they used everything they had learned, all of their struggles they had been through this year, and it's been a rough year for them. So many close losses. They're so much better than their record indicates, but a young team hadn't fulfilled expectations. Everything will be forgotten because of tonight, a victory over the rival. If you missed any of it, it is all on our YouTube channel, the biggest victory in Petaluma girls basketball likely this decade. Once again, the final score, Casa Grande 38, Petaluma 45. The Trojans defeat Casa for the first time since 2009. For Peter Canali, who did a great job, hi Mayar. For Peter Canali, who did a great job, and yeah, you want to join me, Peter? Peter, you did a great job. I'm Griffin Epstein. A good night from the Big House.